Hi everyone, I think I've got a few people watching. Please just send me a message in the comments so I know that you're here and you can hear me and everything. Just post something like hi, something simple. So today we're going to be talking about the word please and whether it's something that should always be used. Is it essential? Is it really polite? So I've spent some time thinking about it. I've asked friends, I've asked family, particularly my dad, who speaks very well. And I've also based this upon my own use and my own beliefs. And I'm going to give you one very interesting example of a time when I always say please. And that's in a restaurant. I know that not everyone says please in a restaurant, but I definitely would, because I think there's this kind of expectation that the person is going to do something for you. And I would like to make sure that I'm as nice as possible just to brighten their day a bit, because I'm sure they're asked to do things all day long. So my obvious question would be, I'll give you an example. Could I have the salmon fillet and avocado, please? And then when they bring it to me, I'm always going to say, thank you. Even if it's under my breath in the middle of a conversation, I'll always say, thank you. Because I think it's really important to make time for people that give us service. And what's important to realize about someone in a waiter position is that for us, there's an expectation that they're going to serve us. That please is based upon this expectation. I'm now going to give you some other examples, and perhaps we'll even look at occasions when I may or may not say please, and which one works better, and you can let me know. So if I were to go to a friend's house, the most important part of my question would not be whether I say please or not, but my vocal tone and intonation, okay? The reason for this is because, like I said a moment ago, with the restaurant example scenario, is that there's an expectation that a waiter's going to serve you. So that please, it can be quite simple. Could I have the salmon, please? And there's that expectation in my vocal tone. Whereas if I go to someone's house, there's not really an expectation they're going to serve me. I know I'm kind of putting them out a little bit. So this is how I would deliver it. Could I have a glass of water, please? Is that all right? Oh, thank you so much. And the thank you so much is very closely followed up. So as soon as they've said, yes, of course, oh my goodness, it's nothing. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't offer kind of thing. Then I'm going to say, thank you very much. And that's another reason I'm not going to say please, because perhaps they're going to feel like they're a waiter. Okay, so I associate that question of, could I have a glass of water, please? And that kind of vocal tone with this expectation, you're my waiter, you're going to serve me. And I don't want them to feel like that. I want them to feel like I'm asking them a favor, and I really appreciate that they're going to get me a glass of water, okay? I may even, if I know the person very well, like my sister or family or a close friend, say, do you mind if I just get myself a glass of water? Because I would feel more comfortable like that. I would feel like I'm not putting them out in that way. So let's go on for another example. Just to take a pause, excuse me and sorry for my blocked nose. I've got hay fever. I've been trying everything I can to get rid of it, but it's here to stay. So we're just going to cope with it. So next example, if I were in a client meeting, so I might be at a client's house or at their office. Now, again, I do not want them to feel like they should be serving me. Okay, so if for some reason they haven't put out the habitual tray of tea and biscuits of water and they haven't offered it to me, but I am literally dying of thirst, I'm definitely going to say, could I possibly trouble you for a glass of water? Or could I possibly have a glass of water? And I might even follow that up with, sorry to bother you. And then definitely, thank you so much. I'm so thirsty. It's so hot today, isn't it? Because I don't want them to feel like I expect them to serve me. So the please could be there, but the rest of it is more important than the please. The could I possibly have a glass of water? Or even better, as I said before, can I possibly trouble you for a glass of water? I'm just so thirsty. So, like I said, I don't want them to feel like I expect them of it, expect it of them. So this is the interesting thing about British English. We are very polite, very subtle, okay? And you would think that the word please would just tick all the boxes. But I'm sorry to say it doesn't, in my experience. And I think it takes a bit of reflection to notice this in others' speech and to pick it up. So we're going to continue. Okay. Imagine I'm going to my children's school, okay? And I overhear a teacher speaking to a child. I might hear something like this. Can you close the door, please? Now, is that polite? I don't think so. What do you think? Do you think it sounds polite? I would say that the vocal tone denotes that it's not really that polite. It's more authoritative. So please isn't necessarily polite. What we noticed earlier was that when I used the word could, it did sound pretty polite, didn't it? And that's because could is a conditional. And the implication is, if you don't mind, which is a bit like please, isn't it really? Okay, next example. If I'm asking my children to get ready a bit more quickly, I might say, could you please hurry up? Imagine I've waited for 45 minutes. I've got 3 children and we're running late. Could you please hurry up? Is that please polite? Is it authoritative? What is it? Hi, someone's saying hi. So I'm just going to say hi back. What is it? I would say it's pleading. I'm literally pleading. And this is kind of how I feel about the word please. It's a bit like pleading some of the time. But do I say please to my children? Yes, I do. Because I do need to ask them to do things all the time. And I want to make it sound as nice as possible. So I'd probably say, could you, let me think of an example. Could you put your plate in the dishwasher, please, my darling? Oh, thank you so much. Oh, you're my angel. I want to sound as nice as possible because poor them, they're being asked to do things all day long, aren't they? Could you remember your bag? Can you pick up your bag, please, darling? Hi, Sam. Yeah, great. Thank you. Oh, from Spain. Great. Glad you could join us. So what else could we do? Yes, so just before this session, I had a little giggle to myself because we have an au pair and I have a little 2-year-old at home. So he's probably now going out for his after lunch walk with the au pair. And just before she left, I said, could you possibly put the nappies in the washing machine, please? And I thought, oh, please, that's authoritative. Based on our conversation, I said, if you don't mind, if you've got a second. Again, it's about being polite, isn't it? I don't want her to feel like she is expected to do it right away this second, like she's my servant, because she's not my servant. I'm asking her a favor. And this leads us on to the next example. So when I was talking to my family about this, I think last week, my dad said he actually quite likes, could you do me a favor? And I quite like that one too, actually, because often we are asking someone to do us a favor. And I also have a friend and she says, could you do me a massive favor? And you can guarantee this favor is not going to be massive. It'll be something really small, like, I don't know, could you, I've just painted my toenails. Could you just go and get me a glass of water or something like that? And I'll be like, of course, it's nothing. But the fact that she has said, can you do me a massive favor, has kind of prepared me for something that's bigger. And therefore, whatever it is, I'm going to think, oh, that's no problem, of course. Okay, so like I said before, we don't have to use please to be polite. And sometimes could, or another expression, is actually better. Okay, so let's just have a look and sum things up. Does anyone have any questions, actually? Okay, you like the British accent, Sam? Okay, and Brian says, awesome. Hi, everyone. So we are talking a little bit about the British accent because I think that things like vocal tone and inflection are often overlooked. And I know for a fact that as someone who is in a relationship with someone who is not British, it can often cause problems. So my partner is French. And definitely at the beginning of our relationship, we had a few issues because I didn't always say please. He wasn't impressed by that. And for me, he did say please, and he does say please, but sometimes I feel a bit like it's expected. Can you pass me can you get me some bread today, please? Like the please makes it okay to ask something big, okay? So there's this concept of expectation. And also, I think we have to be quite aware culturally of what's expected of us. So if we're in a British situation, then like I said, please isn't always the best option. But if you're with someone who isn't British, then maybe it's essential. Okay, so please isn't always polite, but sometimes it's important. What do you guys think? Do you say please? Do you use other options? Do you like could as well? Could is quite popular, I think, these days. Could I possibly, or could you? What else have I got here? I think I've got one more example of something ultra, the most polite you could ever get that you might not have come across. Maybe you have. And that is pretty popular around amongst the older generation, I would say. So people in maybe their 60s, 70s, 80s. And they're more likely to say something like, would you be so kind as to help me with my suitcase? Which I think is lovely, isn't it? It's quite heartwarming. That's better than please, I would say. And then they're going to quickly follow that up with, thank you so very much. And I think we have a visitor, my 2-year-old just come in. So this is what happens. This is the difference between a live and pre-recorded. We get special guests who slam a door. So Sam has just said, we've got a big community around here in the south of Spain. I would use your mind. I think he says I use would. Oh, use would you mind? Yeah, that's another really good one. I think I meant a British community. Yes, exactly. That's what I said earlier to my au pair. Luca, want to come and say hi to everyone? And now Luca's never been on YouTube. It's his first time. None of my children have been on my channel. You've got everyone here now. Hi, everyone. He doesn't speak yet, but when he does speak, he'll probably say please a bit, won't you? Just say hi, and then you're going to go, hi. Go to Azari, darling. See you later. So would you mind? I agree. I think that's a really, really good option. So we've got some visitors in our session today. That's fine. So would you mind? I like that one. Anyone else? Anyone else? Thanks. He is lovely. Anyone else got any other examples? Any opinions? Is anyone else strongly for the word please? Is there anyone here who thinks, yeah, definitely have to use please? My sister said initially when I spoke to her about it, I have a twin sister, and she said, I would always use please with my girls. I think it's so important. She has 2 daughters. Please is such an important thing for children to learn. Hi, Luca. Nice to see you. And I think that please is really important for children because obviously they're asking people for things all the time with that expectation of receiving. So when a child says, can I have a glass of water, please? There's that expectation that they're going to receive that glass of water. Okay. And the please is really important. And the adult's going to go and get that for them. And they know that. So the please is fine and very important for children. This is what makes it so complex. I think we have to be aware that please can be polite, but not always. And it depends on your vocal tone. So take yourself back to the school teacher. Can you close the door, please? Can you put your shoes away, please? So anything bossy, please actually reinforces. So Lucas says, I always say please. I also use may I please, or could you, would you please? Yes, the could you and would you is good. And like I said at the beginning, the could is a conditional. So it says, if you don't mind. That's the if you don't mind bit of the sentence. And Sam says a British friend of mine uses fancy a pint. Yeah, that's a little bit different to please, but would you like one? Yeah, exactly. That's a good example. of something that we don't always hear, the fancy. Yeah, exactly. Excellent. So I'm not saying don't use please. I'm just saying that your vocal tone is very important. And please can actually sound quite authoritative. So one of my clients replied to my email when I invited her to the call today, and she said, I so would have loved to have come. And she said, I stopped using please when I read an article about Facebook, and they've done a study and they've realized that people comply better when they don't use the word please. And I think that comes down to that authority level. Can you do this, please? So we've been brought up with that in British society by teachers or by parents. Can you do this, please? With quite a strict tone of the voice. So like I said, the tone of the voice really has such a very, very big impact. So you have to be so careful with that. So that's kind of, I think, where I'd like to finish, unless anyone's got any questions. Be careful with your vocal tone. I would say I inflect a little bit more. Could I have a glass of water? And maybe I also use a lighter tone. You have to be very careful not to sound too strong in your voice. Could I have a glass of water, please? Is more the kind of thing you'd say in a restaurant if you've been waiting for a while, you see, and you still haven't been served. And I think please has its place. So that's where we've got to now. I hope everyone's followed well and enjoyed the session. And I'll post this. Well, this session will post automatically on YouTube, but perhaps I'll post my notes so you can read through them and have a think about it so everything's a bit clearer. Thank you so much for attending. I'm hoping to do more lives more regularly. So please do post in the comments any suggestions of what you might enjoy me talking about, because it would be lovely to get your input and your questions as well. That's really, really valuable for me. Thank you so much. See you soon. Bye.